Well, today's the day. I am getting ready to drive to San Antonio to pick up Sharnice. It's the first time I'm going to get to see her in person. We've been dating for 7 weeks, all via FaceTime. We were actually introduced via a message she sent me on Facebook Messenger on May 8th of 2025. And then we officially began dating on May 11th of 2025. And the Lord had given her a word to tell her that I was her husband. And we had just known each other for a mere 4 days. Today's the day I'm going to pick her up. She's flying into the San Antonio airport. So I'm driving to San Antonio from Kerrville, about to pull out of my driveway. And yeah, God has done so much. You know, I've been just really praying and considering how God could do all this in such a short amount of time, and the way that he's orchestrated this connection and all of the little prophetic confirmations that we've gotten from the Lord about our relationship. Man, my cheeks are going to be so big in the near future, guys. I'm gonna have like the cheeks of a warrior because of smiles.
It is Thursday, June 26, 2025, and I am about to go teach 3 dance classes, and then after I get finished with work, I'm gonna come home and get ready to go to the airport so I can go see Honey. I am about to head out to go see Anthony for the first time in person. Excited, and it feels very surreal. Like, oh wow, you're actually a real person. To answer that question, how do I feel about seeing each other for the first time? I am excited, but it also is just kind of like, what in the world? Like, it feels like, wow, you've been dating this person for 7 weeks and now you get to be in the same room as them. It's very like not the conventional thing, but a lot more people are doing that actually, so I don't know, maybe it's not that strange.
How do I feel about meeting for the first time? I want to say, y'all, I was so cool and collected and calm, and I've been like kind of reassuring Cher and like being like, hey, it's okay, like it's gonna be all good. And I have to say that I am the one that's probably the most nervous today. I've been getting a little queasy because of like my nerves, like not out of fear, but just I'm like, oh my gosh, this is real. It's kind of been like this day lines up with days like graduating from high school. It's crazy. It lines up with some like really, really crazy days where I've been like super nervous. And I'm not nervous in a bad way, I'm nervous in a good way. But I'm super stoked. I can't wait to spend the weekend with her.
How would I describe Anthony? Every single time I talk about him and to like tell someone about him or how we met, I always say he's the best, because literally he just is the best. He just makes me feel so loved, and he's just super warm and nurturing and kind and gentle and compassionate, and he's just the best. I would say like his personality, in my opinion, he's a social butterfly, so I feel like he's just like there he is, and can just talk to whoever. He told me that he thinks he's an introvert, but I feel like he just seems like a sparkly personality.
How would I describe Sharnice? Sharnice is one of the most dedicated women to God that I have ever come across, not just in people that I've met, but also in history. There's a butterfly on the gas tank of the car that just drove by, and Sharnice is obsessed with butterflies, and that was a sign. So how would I describe Sharnice? Well, she's the fuel to my life. Like, I think that was a prophetic sign, and I really believe that her faith is what fuels her. I think that that's what fuels her to move forward in her life and to keep pursuing God. Her faith is just so profound. She's a super surrendered woman of God, and she's loving and sweet. You know, we talk about Honey honey being is a prophetic theme that God's woven into our lives. And if you don't know, my name has the word honey in it. It's Anthoney. Sharnice is absolutely the brightest human being I've ever met. She smiles and like the entire room just shifts. She is like always smiling. She's always laughing. It's contagious. She is spunky. She's feisty. She's not afraid to say like what she's thinking, and I love that about her. She also keeps me on my toes and keeps me laughing. We had a pretty fun night last night as she was sitting in the airport getting ready to fly in.
How do I think that our relationship will change after seeing each other for the first time? Good question. I think it will bring me some extra peace. I think for both of us, honestly, just like, oh wow, like you genuinely exist outside of seeing each other on FaceTime every day. I think it will make us miss each other more. I already feel like we're both super busy all the time, and like an hour time difference and makes things more challenging. But I think being around each other will just make it harder in that aspect of like, I just want to be around you. I don't think it's going to change a lot other than kind of just like solidify that this is what's meant to be and like what God's doing in our lives. I think we both feel like just super connected spiritually, and I think this will just make it feel more that way. So I'm excited for that. It's super nerve-wracking too, because I am, Anthony says he's an introvert, but I am. So I think like the thought of, oh my goodness, you are technically a stranger to me, and I'm about to be in the same room as you, and we technically know each other, but we've never been around each other. So that's interesting.
How do I think our relationship will change after seeing each other in person? That's a good one. I think it's just going to make it feel more real. I'm going to be able to like feel in my spirit that I'm more connected to her because I've actually got to spend time with her in person. And I think that it'll just make our hearts grow fonder because the absence will be there. Right now, the absence isn't there as much because of the fact that like we haven't actually spent time in the same room. So they say absence makes a heart grow fonder. So yeah, definitely.
My favorite memory prior to meeting. So I'm going to cheat, and I don't know if he's going to follow rules or not, but I'm going to cheat and say two things. First one is something silly and cute. So we were doing like our running club, walking club, fitness group meetup. We had just gone to the park and then got coffee afterwards, and I was riding with my friends, and they brought me back to my car, and then Anthony was FaceTiming me, and him and 3 other guys, they were out going to garage sales, and he holds this sign up beside him with an A on it, and I go, A for Allie, because she was there, and I was like, so I don't know anybody else with like an A last name or anything, and I'm sitting there and he just holding it and smiling. I was like, I just don't know. And then it like clicked. I was like, oh, A for Anthony. So I'd say that is just a funny, cute memory that I couldn't even think like, wow, your name starts with A. Another favorite memory this week for me was just the third day of speaking to each other. This whole like our relationship story is crazy, but just whenever I knew like God was doing something different and like, okay, like this legit may be my person. We were on FaceTime and I was at the park, and we were just talking about something in life, and he was like, okay, let's stop and pray about it. And then we were talking, he was like, okay, before we get off here, can I show you something? And he started playing piano for me and ended up singing to me and prayed for me again like before we got off of the phone. And after we hung up, like, God was really speaking to me in that moment of like, this is what you've been praying for. And like, my expectation of like, wow, like to actually see how like God surpassed like what I was believing for and what I thought like my prayers looked like, and like him showing me. I was just having this sweet moment in the car, and he's like, that's what I think you're worthy of. And I don't know, it's really sweet and beautiful, and I think that's one of my favorite memories.
What's one favorite memory prior to meeting in person? One of my favorite memories of Sharnice so far, it was like early in our relationship. We had just met, like we were very, very, very early on. And she said that when she meets me, she said, I might poop my pants. And that to me was absolutely hilarious, because that was absolutely, it was out of nowhere, and I was just rolling on the bed laughing hysterically. And so that's probably my favorite memory.
One thing that Anthony does that makes me feel loved, I think he genuinely is like a servant leader with me. He leaves a lot of room for me to like hear from God. Like everything that I feel like God's telling me, I feel like it's valued and it's received well. And he's super patient. Like if I want to like discuss certain things, or maybe just worried about things or processing like how fast all of this has happened, like he's super patient, super encouraging. Yeah, makes me feel loved, because it makes me feel like just genuinely like the love of God being reflected back to me, and it's super sweet.
What's one thing that she does to make me feel loved? She is a listener. She listens, and she listens intently and hears everything I say, and the details of her memory. Like she remembers so much of what I say. I value that so much. I strive to be that. I pray to be that, so that my memory has that, but it doesn't have what she has. Her memory is absolutely amazing, and it's because she listens and her heart is just full and open. And so that's one thing that she does that makes me feel extremely loved.
Something that I'm most grateful for about our relationship is how safe I feel. We communicate super openly. Something that made me feel really encouraged was I had seen this video pop up on my YouTube suggestions about 64 questions Christian couples should ask each other before getting engaged. And out of like those 64 questions, there was only like 13 of them that I didn't feel like it was something that we had already talked about. And these weren't all just like small little questions. And that was really encouraging to me, because I feel like I just feel so safe that we can just talk about anything.
What is the thing I'm most grateful for in our relationship? The thing I'm most grateful for in our relationship is the fact that we serve God together, that we put God first in everything that we do, that she's a woman after God's heart, like I'm a man after God's heart. She has a fire of the Holy Spirit. She is filled with the Spirit. She hears God. She pursues God with everything she has. She loves people fiercely. And so like the thing I'm most grateful for is the fact that we get to serve God together. Like we get to chase after the Lord together, and I get to have a woman who would rather spend time with Jesus than spend time with me, and that is what I prayed for. Some of you men are probably like, what? Why would you do that? Well, because if you're not praying for your woman to spend more time with Jesus than she spends with you, then you are full of selfishness and self-centeredness, and you need to check yourself, because he is a better lover than you will ever be. Sharnice, I love you with every fiber of my being, and I'm so grateful for you. And I am so grateful that God saw fit to bring us into each other's lives, and that he made me wait 7 weeks to meet you in person. 7 weeks was prophetic. It's how long Jacob had to wait on Leah. That was 7 years, but 7 is a number that is how long he had to wait on Leah. And so there's a prophetic significance to that. Yeah, super stoked. Here we go. Oh, I'm so nervous. Okay, y'all. She's about to head here. Oh my gosh, I've never been so nervous in my life. Everybody's looking at this sign. This is crazy.
That is so sweet.
It's my girlfriend. We've never met in person. We've been dating for 7 weeks.
Oh, she'll love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Good for you.
Yeah.
It goes well.
Oh, it's amazing. We're getting married next July. I'm literally shaking. Why am I so nervous? I'm gonna keep this private. Our interaction, our first time meeting is gonna be private. I love y'all. Okay, y'all. We're here in person together. It's real. She's a real person. I'm a real person.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. We've told them what it was like individually to get ready for today. Kind of the things that we were feeling going into it. But now I want to talk about like what does the future of our relationship look like after today? Like now that we've met in person, how do we feel about the relationship growing in the future?
I think that it's just going to get better. It'll be better. I think that now that it's like, oh, you are real, you'll just stay real and we'll just grow more. We'll grow more.
This is what I do when I get excited. Sorry.
It can only just get better. It's like now that we're get to like connect in a physical way, like you're tangible and not just I see you on a screen. I feel like you feel more connected.
Yeah, I think that I think our relationship's gonna grow because of the fact that, I said that like because of the fact that we're getting to like physically be in the same space. I feel like now that like that pressure's off, like of like the, oh my gosh, I have to see her for the first time. I have to like,
this is crazy.
you know, because you get all that normally, like in person, you get that like when you first meet, you know?
Yeah.
But when you meet online, it's different. Like that.
It's backwards.
It is. It's backwards. Like you get all the like fun, lovey-dovey, like, oh, I can't wait, and like see the future, and then like.
Yeah, but I don't even know. That's one thing I do think we
supernatural.
did backwards. Yeah, it wasn't like that. Like I wouldn't say it was like a normal getting to know you type of thing. It just felt super like total God thing.
Yeah,
like,
it was
from the beginning. Like I feel like we're just very intentional and connected and probably intense. Like
we knew,
I wouldn't talk about those things normally with somebody I was just getting to know.
No, we knew like that. It's definitely a different experience. It's definitely a different experience because it was like, you know, they always say like when you know, you'll know, and you know if you're somebody who's watching this and you're like, I hear that all the time, and then the people who've been through it are like, but you'll know, you know. So like I can't give you any like advice other than the fact that like you'll just know. You'll just know when it's right. Like God is so good like that. But I think it's definitely I only see God making it better from here. He's so good. So how do we maintain a long distance relationship? And what are the benefits that you see of having? Are there benefits? Are there benefits of having a long distance?
Yeah, the benefit is I can hang up and you're just gone.
She's right.
No. I don't ever hang up on you. So I've never used that benefit. I would say it just makes us have to be super intentional. I think that's a good thing for when we are in person more, is that we're already used to being super intentional with the time that we do get to spend together. Because that looks different of being in 2 different time zones and trying to navigate like seeing each other for the first time like late, and then you just have to spew out what happened in your entire day.
Yeah, because I work as a nurse 2 days a week at Starlight, and I'm at work from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
And normally longer than that.
And usually about 7:30 or 8 p.m. before I finally get out of there and am able to call. And so it's 9 o'clock at the earliest usually, where she's at. And then we have to catch up on our entire day, and it's a lot. And I know that like those days are long for me, and I know those days are long for her. While it's long, and like sometimes we're talking like super late, and sometimes like we don't get the greatest like amount of sleep, like the number of hours, but it's worth it. Like, because I wake up in the mornings, I've been telling her, like, I've been waking up in the mornings and being like, okay, is this a dream? Like, is it, the last 7 weeks, it's been like every day, I'm like, are you sure you're not dreaming? Are you sure you're not dreaming? But yeah, being intentional, that's definitely something that you have to do with a long distance relationship.
How did we film meeting today? I think that was fun for me, because I was probably the one talking about being nervous the most, like leading up to all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this guy even told me today, it's like, it's fine, it won't even be like that big of a deal. And by like the point of it actually happening, I was probably the one that was like, maybe it's because you had talked me down so much. Maybe I needed to do that for you.
No, I don't know. Golly, I was like really nervous, y'all. Like, it was like, I don't know how to describe it. The only, like, I haven't been that nervous. I think it's because I know, like, it's like the biggest moment of my life, other than like giving my life to Christ. Like, getting to meet the woman that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, like, that is, there's no bigger day except for the day that we get married, you know, like that's going to be a big day. But like getting to see you for the first time in person, like, it's a day I'll never forget. June 27th, 2025 is the day I will never forget. I was like so nervous. But I feel like, oh my gosh, that stress is off of my shoulders. That part's over, and I can relax and just be at peace. What is your advice for anybody that's like dating online? Like, if they're watching and they're dating online, they've not met in person.
Dating online.
What's your advice for them?
I don't know if I have advice, because that's not at all what I pictured for myself. Like, even the way that we met, I genuinely had joined that group like thinking, oh, this is just going to be like community for me. Like, people who are walking through this similar experience, like they can offer encouragement, or just reading like things that maybe they're going through. Because that's a funny story, but that can be a whole other side story. But like, when I reached out to Anthony first, like, I had no intention, like zero, of being with him at all. I don't know. I guess being open, maybe. So I was praying about it. Like, I think having a good balance of like, I'm super intentional in general, like with my words, what I say to people. Like, so I think some of that came off interestingly, like in our first interactions, like, oh, she's not interested. But I wasn't trying to be interested either. Like, I don't know you. Like, so, but I also was very open to like the possibility of like, God, like, if this is what you're saying this is, then I'm open to that. That's
so interesting, because like, yeah, like her messages were like so pure. Like, her message was like really, really pure. And it was something along the lines like, I don't even know why Holy Spirit's asking me to reach out to you, but I really felt Holy Spirit's asking me to reach out. And I think I need to ask you if there's anything I can pray for you for. And like, she had seen my message, like my post the day before, right? Mm-hmm. And didn't reach out until the next day.
Yeah, because I said, okay, God, I will, but show me why. Yeah, and I think if he did tell me why,
you wouldn't have reached out.
Maybe, but just not in that way. Like, it would have had so much pressure on it that I would have been like overthinking it.
Yeah. It kind of, I think God knows that about both. I think like really God knew our hearts and knew what we both needed. And like, I mean, even my response to her originally was like really innocent too. Like, it was just like, she asked me if she could pray for me for anything, and I just said I was going into a new season. Like, I just graduated from first year at Bethel School of Supernatural Ministry, BSSM, and I knew that there was a new season coming, in my life, and I knew that God was opening doors, and I just really prayed for wisdom. I asked for wisdom and guidance and clarity on like the direction that God was taking me. And like, so I think God took like your innocent reaching out and my innocent like response, and because of that, like it was safe. Like we provided unintentionally provided a safe place for each of us to show up for, and like that's what we both needed.
Yeah.
Like that's
no pressure.
Yeah, it was like
I think that's advice I would just give online, in person, whatever. I always try to go into, like, if people would try to set me up with someone, it's like there's no pressure on it. Like, how are you gonna know if you enjoy someone's company if you don't spend time with them? So I think no pressure is good. Like, you don't have to go into something thinking like, this is my future spouse. Like, it's just a person.
And I want to give a big shout out to the 824 Singles Collective group on Facebook, which is where we met. And I just really appreciate the founders of that for stepping up and founding that, because we're another success story. That group has had a lot of success stories. They've had a lot of people meet, and so we're another success story. And so I just want to say thank you for everybody that's on that group. But we'll check back in and keep you guys posted on how things are going. Who knows? But I will say, on behalf of Prodigal Road Ministries, that prodigals aren't projects. They're long-awaited miracles, which is what my life is dedicated to. And we pray that every prodigal in your life returns home in the coming days. All right, we'll see you guys soon. Say bye.
Bye. Sorry, I was reading what popped up.